Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with Tformers.com, your #1 news source for everything Transformers. And today we're going to take a look at the new Transformers Masterpiece MP-22 Cybertron City Commander Ultra Magnus from Takara Tomy. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style of packaging that we've seen with all the Masterpieces. You've got the black box with the picture of the figure in both robot and vehicle mode on the front. You've got the Transformers Masterpiece up in the corner, logo up in the corner, and then you've got the name of the figure down below. On the back of the packaging we have a look at the figure in various poses, showing off the various accessories and features that the figure has, and then a bunch of writing that I really can't read. Okay, so let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at Ultra Magnus outside of the packaging. And I think he looks very much true to what we saw in the cartoon. I like the detail on it. You know, there's not a lot of like wash. It's very basic colors, the blue and the red, the white, very pearl white. He's got the tinted red windows on his chest so you can see the matrix inside there. He does not come with an actual matrix, but the matrix that comes with the MP-10 Prime does fit in his chest. And we'll look at that in just a minute. He's got the missile launchers, which do, you know, you can rotate. They don't fire, but the missiles are removable on both sides. And they just fit, and they fit nice and tight in there. He's got the one Autobot symbol on his right shoulder. I like the head sculpt. I think that looks pretty good. My only real complaint with this is I don't think he's quite in scale with the other Masterpieces. I think he's too tall. He stands at just a little over 12 inches tall. But you can see here, he basically towers over both Optimus Prime, the MP-10 Optimus Prime, and Rodimus Prime. And at least my, from the cartoons and stuff, Ultra Magnus may be a little bit taller than Prime and the Primes, but not this much. So I think he's a little bit too tall. He's more in scale to me to the first Masterpiece Optimus Prime than the MP-10. But other than that, I think this is a really nice figure. And I mean, if you're an Ultra Magnus fan, I think you'll definitely want to pick this one up. So as I said, you can pop open his chest, just kind of like in the cartoon, and he's got the matrix that will fit inside. He does not come with a matrix, so you got to have the one from the MP-10 Prime. The one from the MT-1 Prime does not fit in here. I think the one that came with Rodimus will. That one's a little bit smaller, and it can be kind of difficult to get it out once you got it in there, but you just kind of have to pry it out. And then, like I said, it comes with the empty space basically, and then you just pop it closed. Other features he comes with, he has his gun, and it's kind of a purplish gray color. I don't remember what color it was in the cartoon. And it's got a white handle, a nice detail, and the handle bends, so that's for like when he's in truck mode, you can store it. And just like with all the weapons, you can pry open his fingers, and he's got the little groove in his hand, and you just fit the peg on the handle into that little groove and close the fingers. And he holds it nice and tight, and you can hold it in either hand. And if you want, you can kind of do two-handed poses. You kind of have to pull his arm out a little bit, which is part of the transformation process to do it. But you can, if you want to give him in like two-handed poses, like you would see him in the cartoon sometimes. You can do that. Other features on the back here, he's got this little compartment that pulls down, and you can see he's got an extra faceplate. This is like, I guess, when he was about to get blasted apart by Galvatron in the movie when he was trying to open the Matrix. And so you can store both faceplates back there if you want. And basically what you do is you just, the helmet part of his head just pops. You kind of just pull the front part off, and then you can see that the faceplate is attached. There's a little peg, and you just switch them out. Now, It's kind of cool that they've given him an almost kind of like Optimus Prime head underneath there. So that's pretty cool. And if you wanted to, you can technically give him no faceplate and just kind of leave that Optimus Prime head, though it looks a little funky, a little creepy actually. But if you wanted to, you could do that. But anyway, so to give him the faceplate, you just switch out the one, and then the other one just plugs in there, and then you just plug it back in, and now he's got that like
open. Damn it, open!
So besides giving him a place to hold the matrix, they've also given him some alternate hands to hold the matrix in like an opening position, and so you can see they're closed-fisted hands, and they've got little grooves basically to fit the matrix in there, which is pretty cool. So basically what you do is you just kind of, the best way to get the hands off is you can just open up the blue pieces around his fists, and then you just pull out the hands. They're just attached with ball joints, and you switch up the hands that you want to use, and then you just close those pieces back. Now again, if you wanted to hold the matrix in basically both hands, you have to put his arms up over his head, and then you can just kind of switch or put the matrix in there, and he'll hold it over his head like he's trying to you know, open it like Rodimus did. Now the matrix, you can fit either matrix, either the one from the MP-10 or the one from the MP-1 Prime in his hands. In fact, I think he looks better holding it. When he's holding it, I think it looks better with the matrix from the MP-1 Prime. Okay, so for final accessories, Ultra Magnus comes with little teeny figures of both Spike and Daniel, his son Daniel, from, you know, as they appeared in Transformers the movie and the last season, or the third season of the cartoon, the G1 cartoon. You know, so they have those kind of futuristic jumpsuits on. You know, the figures aren't terribly detailed. We've seen these kind of figures before. We've seen the Spike that came with the MP-10 Prime, and basically it looks exactly like that. I do actually like that the adult Spike is a little bit taller than the teenager Spike, so you know, they are actually kind of in scale. Daniel's got the little D on his chest like you saw in the cartoon. But you know, there's not a lot of detail on the faces or anything with these. They do have articulated knees so that they can sit down, and they will sit inside the cab of Ultra Magnus. And just for one more size comparison, here is Spike, adult Spike next to adult Spike in his exosuit. And you can see the exosuit is not quite in scale. The articulation on this is pretty good, pretty standard with what we see with most of the masterpieces. You can turn his head left and right. He's got a little bit of up and down movement, though of course his chest sticks out enough that looking down really doesn't matter much. He's got the rotation at the arms, he's got the clicky joints at the elbows, and he's got a little bit of rotation there. You've got rotation with the fists. The one pair of fists that come attached with the hand, or with the figure when you open it, has the articulated trigger finger, and then the three figures are also articulated, but they're stuck together. The thumb is not articulated on these. He does not have midsection articulation. He does not have a twist or anything at the midsection, unfortunately. That's really the only drawback as far as articulation goes. Also, as I mentioned before, if you want to kind of like pull out the shoulders to like get him in positions where you can hold, like, you know, his gun in two hands or something, you can kind of pull him out. It looks a little funny depending on how much you pull them out, but you can do that. That's part of the transformation more than actual articulation though. He can get his leg forward pretty good and back about that much. And they've got the click joints at the waist. Also has the click joints at the knee, so you can bend his knee about that much. And then again, based with their part of more of the transformation than anything, he's got a little bit of a pivot there on his ankle, but no up or down movement at the ankle really. Okay, so transforming him is, for as big as he is, it's not as difficult as you would think. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's not super difficult. Basically, you start off, you push his head, make sure his head is pushed back, because it does kind of slide forward and back, and then you turn it around so he's looking backwards. The next thing you do is you pull those blue pieces near his fists. You open them up and then pull them forward and have him cover the fists, basically. Then you take the little tops on his shoulders and you open them up and push them off to the side, and they just kind of click off to the side. And then you take his missile, the parts with his missile launchers, and you pull them down, and you can, and you want to kind of get his arms straight down so that everything is kind of straight. Okay, so next thing you want to do is turn him around, and then these blue pieces up near his shoulders you want to just pull out so that they're like almost like a T. And then basically what we're going to do is you take this back part, you open up the part where you store the face plates, and then you kind of pull down this white piece that's going to make the front of his cab, basically. And then you turn the white pieces on the side. These are going to be the sides of the cab, so that they're facing, you rotate them down, basically. And so then you just kind of, you'll kind of see that how it basically makes the cab. And then you just kind of straighten it out. So then after you've formed the cab, then what you want to do is, and this is where it gets a little tricky, is you've got to kind of pry here on these long pieces. Basically you want to kind of do your nails in between, and kind of, basically what you got to do is you got to pull it out, pull the pieces out, but you kind of have to use your nails to kind of pry these little blue pieces of plastic, and then use your other hand to pull. And like I say, it can be a little tricky to do that. So then once you've done that, then you want to just rotate those pieces down, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to push the rocket launchers down. Okay, so then one other thing you want to do is you want to take this piece on his back, and you want to pull it up and lift it up, and it forms the back part of the cab. The cab will come up over the figure's head, and that completes basically the cab portion of the figure. Now at this point, you want to then take the wheels and pop them, pull them forward so that they're on the side of the vehicle. Now at this point, and this really isn't listed in the instructions, but if you want to, you can actually detach the cab piece. You just push this little peg, or this little switch here, and that'll release the cab. So it can make it a little bit easier to transform when you have it split into two parts. The instructions don't actually call for that, but I found it's a little bit easier. You can turn the smokestacks now so that they're facing upward, and at this point the cab is basically completed. So then for the rest of the body, what we want to do is you then can push these back, turn him, and then you want to take the feet, and basically first thing you want to do is you pull down, you see these little plastic wheels, you pull down and then you flip them so that the real wheels are now displayed, and you want to do that on both feet. And then basically what you want to do is these blue pieces on the back, you pull down, and you can actually pull up, and then you can do his feet. So now you've got the back part of the cab. You can see the back part of the cab starting to show. And you want to make sure that the legs stay straight, basically. these blue pieces rotate to the side, and you can see how the back part of the legs click in together basically. And so now you've got the back part of the cab forming. You lift these blue pieces up, and then you kind of rotate the shoulder pieces, or the top part of the cab. They click in the back. So again, you lift up the blue piece, and then you rotate the rack part so it's facing flat, and then you connect the back part. And then finally you just pull these these blue pieces forward, and they click into place. They've got little grooves. If everything is done right, they should fit in pretty easy. And then finally, up here, there's these little things that you push in. You need your nail or something to push in and close those. Sometimes it can be a little difficult, even once you kind of push down on it. It doesn't always want to release, but and so you close that. Finally, you want to take the rocket launchers, and you can display the rocket launchers in multiple positions, but we'll start off with off to the side like you see in the cartoon. And so that's basically the trailer portion. And so then finally you just hook the trailer in. You take the little white piece that sticks out and you put it in the little hole, and it just clicks in, and there you go. And then just other little details, pull the side mirrors out. And then one other thing, you don't have to do this, but they do give you a place to store the gun. So you just kind of fold the handle closed, and you'll see on the gun here there's a little two little pegs, a rectangle and a circle peg, and there's a hole, there's a circle hole and a rectangle hole on each side where these little blue boxes are on the trailer, and you just put the gun, you fit the pegs into the holes there. And the gun will fit in, so you don't really see it. So that's a nice little feature. Okay, so here's a look at Ultra Magnus in his vehicle mode with his trailer attached. With the trailer attached, Ultra Magnus is about 15.5 inches long. He is roughly about the same length as Optimus Prime with his trailer. Maybe a little bit bigger, but for the most part they're about the same size. The Ultra Magnus rolls nice. He's got the rubber wheels. He can hold 4 cars or 4 Autobots in their vehicle modes. When he's in vehicle mode, 2 on the top, and then you can get 2 on the bottom. The ones on the top, they fit, they fit kind of loose. In other words, like, if you started to really move it around, they'd probably kind of fall off, or at least the wheels would fall off a little bit. So, they didn't like make grooves to hold the cars in place on the top shelf, really. So you want to just be careful when you're rolling them around and you've got the cars on the top. I mean, you can see that they stay for the most part, but they do move a little bit when you start moving them around. He's got the doors on the back, and they just come down, and then you can have your Autobots, roll off the ramp. And then for the ones that are on the top shelf, basically you can detach from the little pegs the top part, and it just comes down, and then you can roll your Autobots off. Now it should note that there's a little bit of a gap between the top shelf and the bottom, but still, you know, you can simulate that unloading of cars if you want to. So the trailer is detachable from the cab of Ultra Magnus. Basically what you do is there's a little button on the bottom here, and you just push it in and it comes unhooked. You can see there's a little white peg on the trailer part, and it just fits in this hole on Ultra Magnus. Now Ultra Magnus is very light, much lighter than Optimus Prime's cab, because he doesn't have all the robot parts, especially like the die-cast legs. You can see it's basically hollowed out in the back here. You can see Ultra Magnus's head. The cab part is almost identical looking to Optimus Prime's cab, except for the colors. You've got the Autobot logo on the side, on the one side, on the driver's side. The front end looks almost identical. You've got the red bumper, which is cartoon accurate. You can see inside the cab, and we've got Spike and Daniel sitting inside. Now if you want to access the inside of the cab, the doors don't open, but you can pop open the top, and then you can see them sitting there, and they sit nice and tight in there. You can also see where we have the extra face plate stored, and if you wanted to, you could throw fists in there. And then it just clicks into place. He's got the vac metallized smokestacks, just like Prime. Ultra Magnus's smokestacks may be just a little bit shorter than Prime's. He's also got the vac metallized gas tanks, just like Prime, and the hubcaps, and then the front grille and lights, again just like Prime. So just a couple things to note about the trailer. The missiles you can have displayed off to the side like you would see in the cartoon and stuff. You can turn them so they're facing backwards if you wanted to. And then you can also flip them around and rotate them so that they're basically straightforward. So if you like that pose better, you can do that as well. And they've got these little indents on the front that the missile launchers will fit into, so it fits nice and snug in there. And then he's got the Autobot symbol on both sides, and then up at the top as well. And just one final thing to note about the trailer. I don't know if you have any desire to, but if you wanted to like have Optimus Prime pull Ultra Magnus's trailer or vice versa, technically they have different connection pieces for their trailers. So technically they don't really they aren't really supposed to be compatible. But like, you know, Prime, he's got these he's got this little gap in the back of his, so you can kind of slide that in. And so definitely if you just wanted it displayed on your shelf, you can, and it looks good. If you start to try and pull it, you know, if you pull too hard, it's not going to stay on there because, again, the connections aren't really compatible. And then the same thing for Prime's trailer and Ultra Magnus. If you wanted to have Ultra Magnus carry Prime's trailer, you know, he's got that different kind of connection piece, so you can kind of sit it on there, and again, on the shelf, you know, it doesn't look too bad. But if you have him start actually trying to pull it, you can kind of get him to pull it, but if you pull too hard, it's going to come off. But, you know, like I said, I don't know if you have any real desire to switch trailers, but you can kind of do it if you want to. Okay, that's my review. Overall, I like this figure. You know, I think it looks very true to what we saw in the cartoon, even the comic books. I do think maybe, you know, Ultra Magnus is a little bit on the tall side. I just don't think he should tower quite that much over Rodimus and Optimus Prime. But other than that, I think it's a really nice figure, really nice features. decent articulation. So if you're an Ultra Magnus fan or you've been collecting the MPs, I definitely think this is one you're going to want to add to your collection. This figure is hitting specialty shops now, so check places like Big Bad Toy Store if you want to add it to your collection. And that's my review. I hope you enjoy it. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also leave a comment, let us know what you think. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.
Open. Damn it, open!